Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the News and Culture Show with me, Laura Conda, and Paul Cooper, my co-host.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. So on the News and Culture Show we talk about all the latest news from across Luton and culture, events, arts and things that are going on around the town, so you can get out, go and have some fun and enjoy this amazing town that things are going on in. How are you, Paul?
Yeah, alhamdulillah, I'm not too bad. I've been quite tired. Yesterday, I finished repairing my car. I'd had a water leak and I had to take the whole front of the car apart to get to the engine to find the leak, and I finished putting it back together yesterday. And I drove here today.
It drove here today.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention as well, we've got some amazing guests on today. We have got Summar Shah, who's going to talk to us about the Halal Shopping Expo, and we've also got Councillor Javed Hussain, who is going to talk about the fireworks. I know that's a big issue across the town. A lot of people have been complaining. I've seen in Facebook groups from all over every area of the town, people complain about fireworks. So
these bang people, they drive you mad, don't they? It never
really
ends.
Interesting conversation we've had with him, so keep a listen out for that. So on to the news. I know obviously a lot of people have talked about Adam Khan, what's happened. We talked about what had happened last week. He was the young man that was fatally stabbed and died Sunday last weekend, so not the weekend that's just gone, the weekend before, in Humberstone Road.
His funeral was a couple of days ago.
His funeral was yesterday, a couple of days ago. We filmed this the day before, so it was on Monday basically. However, obviously out of this terribly horrible, sad situation has been a lovely bit of light, I guess. So a charity in Luton, most of you will know it, Crisis Aid. They set up a fundraiser to build a mosque and education centre in memory of Adam, and they set a £40,000 target, and I don't know if you want to share the amount they're at now.
Yeah, so as we're reading on air, they've raised 38,370. Now, this is something I'm sure you'll all know. It really did quite shake the community. One of my bosses I work with, actually, he actually went to the funeral. He knows the family well, and Adam Khan, mashallah, he actually did himself a lot of work with Crisis Aid. So it's very fitting, mashallah, that the charity has helped host the collection of for this project. So exactly where they want to build the masjid, at the moment they haven't decided. They've done similar projects in Pakistan and the Gambia, but mashallah, £40,000 in such a short time.
Yeah, just short of £40,000. I mean, within 24 hours they'd raised £25,000, which is a staggering amount of money, to be honest, and it shows that the community will give very generously in these situations. And I think it's a testament not only to the community but also to Adam as who he was as a person, the fact that so many people were willing to stand up and say this young man was, such a valued member of the community. Not only that, he gave so generously, he was so charitable, he led an umrah. Led an
Umrah group?
Yeah, that was it. Umrah group as well before. So, he's done a lot for the community. He really has, dedicated his life to Islam, and the community has therefore stepped up and, gave in memory of this young man. And I think it's obviously a testament to him and his family. He's not only has he kind of stepped up in Islam, he's also stepped up to care for his family after losing his father at a young age as well. So, it's a terrible, terrible tragedy, this loss. And I know many, many people have been affected by this. And, if you are, feeling grief or you need some support, there is support out there for you. Whether it's getting in contact with your imam, talking to friends, talking to family, you're not alone in this. And I think it's really important that as a community we do support those young people that perhaps are struggling with this, because it's a very sad thing. And I think it's really important that we just make sure that the younger members of the community are okay as well, and get that support, especially as it is National Suicide Awareness Week as well.
I mean, the saddest thing about this is that the two people who did it was a boy and a girl. They were both just 16.
I know.
And of course, we don't know any details because by law, nothing can be released. So we don't know their identity because if they're under 18,
it's kept quiet. There's under Section 49. Obviously,
but
they have been into court, and we'll see when the trial has ahead, and we will keep everyone up to date with everything that's going on in the trial. I may even go down there myself and watch the trial. We'll see whether I get time.
It'll be probably in the local Crown Court.
It will be in Luton Crown Court, I imagine. So we'll see what happens with that, and we'll no doubt keep you up to date on this show. So please keep an eye out for that.
So if any of you listeners do know Adam and the family well, and you want to help them with their goal, like I said, as we're reading, it's £38,370 and their target is £40,000. You can give a little bit. Actually, it's actually hosted on Crisis Aid's website. So if you look on there, you'll be able to find Adam Khan's Masjid collection. It's being hosted on the Crisis Aid site.
Yeah. Right. On to an equally sad case as well. So a Luton man has been jailed for a brutal and senseless murder of a much-loved mother and grandmother. So 25-year-old Jacob Clark of Links Way was sentenced to life after pleading guilty in June to the murder of Diane Cleary, who was 46 years old and causing grievous bodily harm to his ex-partner. He will spend at least 25 years in jail. That's his minimum term. Though I think it's worth pointing out, when people talk about minimum terms, that doesn't mean after 25 years he's going to be released and that's it.
I think that means that's the first opportunity
he can apply for parole.
Yeah, where the parole board would what is it? They hear the application for release.
And to be honest, I've never ever heard of someone getting out. It's extremely rare for someone to get out of parole on their first attempt. Extremely rare. So, when people talk about life sentences, he will be in there for a very long time. I mean, it doesn't take away from the fact that what he did was horrific. So he attacked both Diane Cleary and her daughter at the home that he shared with his ex-partner, who was Diane Cleary's daughter, on Turners Road North on January 20th of this year, just days after the relationship had ended and she'd asked him to leave. He'd been previously controlling, verbally abusive and physically violent during their relationship. And Diane essentially died defending her daughter.
And the crazy thing is that this was all because a relationship ended.
Yeah, it is. And I don't know whether it's worth it or necessarily talking about what had happened to her, but she had multiple injuries, including stab wounds and blunt force trauma. I won't go into what was used because I don't think it's worth talking about specifically. I just think it was horrible, though, what he must have put that mother and daughter through. Because the daughter was also seriously injured. She was very lucky she didn't die as a result of what happened to her as well. He could have been looking at a double murder. He was incredibly lucky. After he killed Diane, he'd ordered his ex-partner to cut his long hair off before fleeing the scene. And then he was arrested 48 hours later by officers guarding the scene who'd spotted him attempting to try and return to the property, and then found him on a bridge, having climbed over the ledge of a nearby bridge. It's just a sickening act of violence, and yet again against women who have tried to leave controlling partners. Shocking. Yeah, doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
I read the transcript from when it was published a week ago by the police, and he actually did this. So if you don't know, folks, Di was the girl's mother. So the girl had ended the relationship. He actually went after the mother as a way to punish the daughter. That was actually his motivation. I'm just going to read you this. There's a really nice statement. It's a really touching statement by the detective inspector. His name is Detective Inspector Adam Bridges. And he said, Diane was a much-loved mother, daughter, grandmother, friend and member of her community. She was effectively known by all who loved her as Nana Didi. Her loss is felt so deeply by many. Diane's life was taken in the most brutal and senseless way, and the pain her family continues to endure is unimaginable. Her daughter has shown extraordinary bravery, both in the moment and throughout this investigation. And he does continue. I won't go through the whole thing.
It's a very long statement.
But it is the detective inspector here that handled the case. It is such a moving statement that Detective Adam Bridges put together. It really is quite. It really tugs at your heartstrings. So thank fortune, this man has been locked away.
Yeah.
And all we can say is, like you said, Laura, let's hope that they refuse when 25 years down the road.
They refuse to let him out.
They don't let him out, because someone can do this. He's very clearly dangerous person.
And I do think it's worth noting, if you are in a relationship that is abusive, whether you're a man or a woman, but particularly with Women's Aid, Stepping Stones in Luton, and there is I think it's the All Women's Centre. They all do support with domestic violence. So please do get in contact with them, and they can help you through that situation. They do a lot of help. I work with Stepping Stones quite closely, and they're really fantastic organisations in Luton that do support women that are victims of domestic violence. So please, if you do need support, please do reach out to these charities. There's 3 of them across Luton. There's lots of help available, so please don't think you're alone. And there's support available. So I just wanted to add that, because obviously it's a very heavy topic. This one's probably equally as heavy as well, because I know a lot of parents are very frustrated about this situation. I don't know if you want to give it a read, or...
Are you talking about
the hoax, the school hoax?
Yeah. So if you don't know, folks, where the previous swimming pool used to be at Bath Road, after that site was cleared, they then built a new primary school there. It's called Riverbank, because it's not far from where the river runs. And they've received... You can't believe someone would do this. No. They've received a hoax call. Exactly what the nature of that was, I don't know.
I don't think the police have.
Yeah, they haven't released it.
Yeah.
But they received some sort of hoax call, presuming there was some sort of danger, and they had to evacuate the entire school, including all of the members of staff, into the nearby park. So all 725 people, pupils and adults, were evacuated to the nearby park. And the spokesman for the local police said the school followed its own evacuation procedures and ensured all pupils and staff were safe and accounted for. So well done there, Riverbank Primary School. And then, of course, their statement goes on. Police provided specialist resources to perform a thorough search of the school premises, and no security concerns were identified. So exactly what time this started, but it took them until 1:30 in the afternoon.
Oh, it started at 10 a.m.
So it started at 10 a.m.
Yeah, so 3.5 hours.
Oh, sorry, yeah, I see that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 10 a.m. They didn't get this resolved until 1:30 in the afternoon, because I suppose they had to do a full search.
Yeah.
Actually, I just remember something like similar like this happened to me 30 years ago, and I was doing my teacher training. So
wow.
I remember now. I was working at a school in London, in Neasden, and there was a bomb threat, and we had to evacuate. We were all staff and school. We were all standing out on on the pavement out on the school.
Okay.
Crest Road in Neasden.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I mean, I know that there's been a lot of parents complaining because they haven't been told specifically what this hoax call said. Bedfordshire Police have said they are investigating this suspect hoax call, and anyone with any information is to call the police on 101 with the reference number 101 of 8th of September. The school hasn't made a comment yet. I know they have sent a letter out to parents kind of explaining the situation, because I know a lot of parents were concerned and considering not sending their children to school today. This happened obviously on Monday. I'm talking about Tuesday. We're recording this on Tuesday. So I know a lot of parents were concerned because it's, it is a scary thing to think that you sent your child into school. I know some of them had to pick up their children from school. There was the Riverbank Primary School did ask their parents to come and pick up their children from the park because they didn't know how long they were going to be stuck there for. So a lot of children were taken home already from the day. But I think it genuinely must be very worrying for these parents to have, sent their child into school and someone. It's good that the school took it seriously, though. I think that's really important. I think after what happened with the trial earlier this year with that young man, well, I say young man, the man that killed his family and then was planning a school shooting in Luton, Nicholas Prosper. Yeah. I think it's really important that I think probably the community is kind of reeling off of that still a little bit, and probably do have some concerns as well, and that's kind of in top of everyone's mind. So it's important that this was taken seriously, and it's clear that the police are investigating it, and they aren't going to release all that information straight away.
I'm sure they'll get to the bottom of it.
They will get to the bottom of it, and I think
something like this, they're very tenacious, so I'm sure they'll get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Now we've got another issue here with the school.
I was going to say, we actually don't have that much time.
Oh, we're a bit low on
time. We're a bit low on time. We're going to have to go to our interview. So we've got an interview now with Summar Shah.
We'll perhaps shelve this to another time.
I think we'll shelve this for next week because it's not. I don't think it's going to go away, this one.
No, I think we'll have to talk about it.
I think it's really important that we talk about
it.
But
we won't let on what it is.
We can let on a little bit.
Oh, we can?
I think it's a serious, furious parents about a school, but it's not in Luton, it's in Caddington.
Oh.
But yeah, we'll talk more about that next week.
Okay.
And there's my timer to say time's up, so we'll move on to this interview. So joining us now is Summar Shah, who's going to talk to us all about the Halal Shopping Expo that's this weekend. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. How are you?
Hello, I'm good, thank you. So, do you want to tell us a little bit about what is happening at this Halal Shopping Expo?
So the purpose of the expo is actually to bring brands and businesses from around the country to showcase what they have to offer at an affordable price.
So they're going to be selling things?
Yeah, so there's going to be a mixture. Some people are there to promote their services. Some people are there to sell food. Some people are there to,
So they can. So the business are able to be there, and they can basically say, "Come over, have a look what we've got." They can do like their own showcasing, or if it's a food business, actually meet the public there and sell them. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, basically the main purpose of this is to create a platform for businesses. We've had events in Luton that have we've worked on events that have had tens of thousands of people attend, so we know that the Muslim market is there, and the rate of people starting up new businesses is surging right now, and it's just a platform for people Muslim businesses to connect with each other and the consumers at, again, an affordable price point, in compared to some other events which are priced reasonably for what they offer but might be out of the budget of certain businesses.
Yeah. So is there going to be clothing there as well, because I know a lot of women particularly are struggling to get abayas or hijabs online, so is there going to be that kind of thing available?
Yeah, so there's a wide array of fashion businesses for men and women. There'll be food from around the world, there'll be cosmetics, fragrances, there'll be some interesting products that you might not have seen elsewhere, so it is something to not miss.
Is there any particular stalls that you're really looking to like go and have a look at yourself?
I'm excited about the food stalls, to be honest. That's that's my forte, to be honest. Just trying the different food stalls that are going to be there. There's like Nepalese food, there's like Indonesian food, Japanese food, and much more. So it's
Nepalese. I've never tried that.
No, neither have I. More importantly, is the corn dog stand people going to be there?
Yes, actually, yes.
The what stand?
The corn dogs. Oh,
corn dog.
Every Inspire Eid, I get a corn dog because they are fantastic. You can get ones with like mozzarella in the middle, and you can do a cheese. But it's 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
I actually don't know what corn dog is.
You need to Google it when you get home. Have a Google.
I think you need to come to the event. And
yeah, you definitely do. It sounds really exciting. What kind of entertainment is there going to be?
So we've got the entertainment mainly is for families and for children. So we'll have a children's section with certain activities going on, inflatables, face painting. We should have like some special like cartoon characters make an appearance as well. So the entertainment is primarily focused towards children because it is a weekend event, and I know parents who are coming to shop and eat, they want something for their kids to do.
Well, it sounds like is it quite a big venue? Where is the people have got to come to?
So it's the Grand Royale it's in town centre. It's got a large outdoor car park space which will be holding the food festival, and inside will be the expo. So it's a venue they used to be called Auction House. I mean, many people probably know it by that name, but they've kind of renovated it. They have new owners, and they're now doing like large scale community events there. Award ceremonies have been held there, weddings. So it's quite a versatile venue.
It's on Crescent Road, by the way, if you're not sure where it is.
Yeah, literally. I forgot the name of the road for a second, otherwise I would have said it. But yeah, it is quite a diverse venue. It's one of the biggest ones in Luton. So it is.
Okay, so it's a Grand Royale, Crescent Road, LU2 OAH.
I had to Google it this morning because I was like,
where that is.
Because when it said LU2, I was thinking, where in LU2 has one like? Because I was thinking like Crescent Hall type venues. So I was like, I couldn't think of anywhere in LU2 that had it, and then it clicked that when I saw it was on Crescent Road, that is LU2.
Yeah, like we just worked out. It is, I think, a 7-minute walk from the Luton point.
It is so close.
And it's like a 2-minute drive, so it is literally in the centre of Luton.
If you're going to get a train, get off at train station, but go the Hightown way and just walk down that road. It basically takes you.
Yeah, literally, it's really accessible.
Yeah. So how much does it cost to get in?
The event's actually completely free.
Oh, okay.
We obviously done some research, and we know how our Lutoners love free events, but because it's the first one as well, people want to see what it's about, what they can expect there, and and we want people to spend money there as well. So we made this debut event free for everyone.
Where and when is this event?
So this event is the coming Saturday and Sunday between 12 and 8 p.m. at the Grand Royale. It's in town centre basically. It's 2 minutes drive away from the Luton point and like a 7-8 minute walk. So a very easily accessible location for everyone, to be honest. And
will there be space to pray?
Yeah, there's a designated prayer space for women and for males. That was one of our first priorities for us to allocate.
Check it out, folks. Sounds like it's going to be a fun, exciting thing.
I believe Inspire FM will be there as well anyway, because we are media partners, if I remember rightly.
Media partners, all sorts. Our whole team is Inspire FM, so...
Yeah, we're all...
we've got years of experience.
We are Inspire.
Brilliant.
Thank you so much for joining us, Summar. Have a great day, and see you this weekend. That's the end for this half of the show, but join us after the break where we'll be talking to Councillor Javed Hussain about the fireworks issue that's happening across Luton.
Find Luton Prayer and Masjid Jumu'ah times at inspirefm.org.
Welcome back to the News and Culture Show with me, Laura Conda, and Paul Cooper, my co-host. And the News and Culture Show is all about all the latest news in Luton, arts, events and culture that's happening around the town, so you can go out, get involved and have fun. So joining us now as a very special guest, we have Councillor Javed Hussain, who is the Deputy Leader of the Council.
Hi, thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
And he's here to talk about a very important issue that's going on in Luton at the minute, the fireworks. I think we've all been affected by it in some way, wherever you live across the town. We've all heard them. They probably kept you up at night, perhaps. They've annoyed pets if you have them. And it's an ongoing issue across the town. And Councillor Javed has very kindly come on to talk about what the council kind of want us to do as the local people, how we can best deal with it and how we can look to forward to it. So, Councillor Javed, what is the issue at the minute with the fireworks? So there's been a lot of complaints all over Luton. What is kind of the council's stance on it at the minute?
So the council's stance is we've done a number of things. I made a list here. Mm-hmm. So the council has developed Love Clean, Street Clean app to be able to collate the firework complaints. So if you go there, there's a category for noises, litter and nuisance, so where you can report it. This feeds into an operation we call Operation Starbar. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to collate the level of noise. Now, if I talk to as a resident, we don't need to collate it. We know it's a massive issue. It's been increasing year on year. Mm. We've done enhanced licensing checks at firework and lights premises. So we've made sure that they're selling it to the right people. You know, people are not, shopkeepers are following the rules. Mm-hmm. We've visited wedding premises and reminded them their obligations under their license conditions not to allow fireworks on their premises. We've passed a council motion for the RSPCA motion for noiseful levels because we know this antisocial behaviour affects children, it affects vulnerable, it affects the elderly, it affects people who've got to get up to work, pets. So it affects all of us. And as a community, I think it's very important that we have a discussion because I don't see why, and as a resident, why we think we need to let off fireworks at 1 a.m., 2 p.m. The law has been very, very clear that after 11 a.m. and between 7 and in the morning till 7 to 11, you should not be letting off any fireworks. So why do we think we need to go home and let off fireworks? What is there? And do we not have any consideration and respect of our neighbours?
So in terms of timing, what is the exact window of timing where people are allowed to use them?
Pre-11, 7 after 7 in the morning, and pre-11 o'clock at night.
Oh, so after 11 p.m. it's not allowed.
There are a couple of days that are exceptions to this,
which is Diwali, Christmas, New Year's Eve,
and
Chinese New Year, and
5th of November.
5th of November.
Okay, I didn't know about some of those. Chinese New Year?
Yeah, Chinese New Year, because it's a bit important thing to let off fireworks as part of the Chinese New Year celebrations. That's why you'll get a lot of fireworks on Chinese New Year.
Okay.
And if we're honest, people can accept those as one-off special occasion. What we can't accept is has been going on this summer, has been going on increasingly for the last few years, constantly during the week, weekends. That's the bit we can understand. Are one-off special events like the New Year's, Chinese, we can understand that. But what we cannot have is this behaviour.
Where is it people are buying these from now? Because you never see them for sale in shops anywhere. So
only around Bonfire Night and New Year's Eve I see them. You see like the little stands in Sainsbury's.
Yeah,
other supermarkets are available.
Well, that was what was coming to my mind, Councillor. So you see them, like Laura said, you'll see the stands like in Sainsbury's, I suppose coming up next month, sort of mid-October, and then coming up to the 5th of November. But where are people buying them from?
So they are buying them from online. They can buy them online. They're going to, I believe they're going as far as Birmingham and Manchester, going to people who are selling these fireworks. We ought not to be selling them. In Luton, we can control the premises. We can review their licence. We can revoke their licence if they're selling to, and we do test purchases as well. But the issue is people are able to do it, and this sort of talks to our MP Sarah Owen's bill to limit the sale through the online sales. It's in there.
Right. Do you want to talk us through that? I mean, since she's a Labour MP and you're a Labour councillor, perhaps you know a bit more about it than us, because we've only just got a small bit. Do you want to talk us through that?
So, absolutely. So, Sarah, the bill is 59. I can share a link if somebody would like it. I'll share a link with you so that you can put up on your website. It's 59 pages, and the bill is to try and limit a number of issues where we can reduce the sale of who can purchase them. We can limit the noise that they make, so you can get something called low noise or silent. They're not truly silent, but they're a lot noisier. So you still get the effect that you would get with the fireworks, but what you don't have is the noise pollution.
So you get the massive expansion of the colours and spreading out, but you don't get the loud bang.
You don't get the loud bang. You get a slight one because for it to do, but what you don't get is the loud one.
But not like a big boom.
No. And the big explosion that you get in the sky, they'll be silent, which is the reason, which is a real nuisance. Now, again, we're having to police ourselves out of and change legislation because a small cohort of us can't behave. The rules and the regulations have always been there. Now, the issue is,
this might sound quite ignorant, actually. Sorry to interrupt you. This might sound quite ignorant. I always assumed, because I'd only ever seen them from when I was a kid growing up in the UK, that you only sort of saw them from like mid-October up until I actually assumed that it just wasn't allowed in law to sell them at any other time. I had no idea they could be purchased at any time.
It's complicated.
It is, and equally people who are that way inclined could purchase them early and store them. So there's a number of ways that you can. So what do you do with them so you don't know how many you're going to sell in a say certain time because of the different celebrations. You can, but the onus is for us as individuals, and moral obligation on us is to use them in the right way. If you really want to celebrate, personally, who doesn't like fireworks, but they've got to be controlled. You've got to respect your neighbours and understand where we live in a multicultural society. We want to be good neighbours. We want to be respect, and we want to be kind to our neighbours. And this isn't kindness. 1 o'clock waking up, people who have got to get up 5 o'clock to go to work, people who've got young children, the elderly, pets who are frightened. That is not morally acceptable. And if you really got that much spare cash to burn, why don't you give it to the lovely food bank, some of the other lovely charity, cancer research? There's so much good you could do with that money, as opposed to.
I mean, personally, I don't inherently have anything personally against them. But it's exactly as you said, Javed. It's when they're going up at like 12:30, 1 o'clock. I mean, I've been woken up by them.
Speaking of which, if someone knows perhaps that their neighbour specifically, say they see their neighbour letting off fireworks at 12 a.m, 1 a.m. in the morning, what do they do? Do they call the council? Who do they call?
So this is the difficult. So during the day, you'd call the council. We would pick it up. But out of hours, the police, you would have to call the police. Now, because it's not life-threatening, you'd have to do it on the 101. At night, you can see from the police's point of view, and this is the frustration that our residents are having, because they see they're paying more precept to the police, they say they're paying more council tax to the council. But what they don't see is, the issue is, for example, if it's my house, and you've come to my house to celebrate the wedding, and you've let them off, is it really fair? How much power have I got to stop you from letting them off? And unless I'm going to report you directly and give evidence against you, the council can't prosecute you, the police can't prosecute you. Same thing at night. If the police have got burglaries, they've got county lines, they've got RTAs at night, and they've also got limited staff at night, are they going to leave those life-threatening situations, knife crime, and go after somebody, which is not really fair? I think this is the discussion. I think we as a community, myself, us, the relatives, the elders, the faith groups have raised this with me, that we have a duty to morally talk to our children. So when I came in here today, I thought, is it a bit late now because we're coming towards the end of the wedding season, but the fireworks are still going on. So there seems to be no end of the wedding season.
There was literally some last night when I was trying to go to sleep.
And the important fact of this is we need to have the conversation with our children, our friends, to say, look, this is not unacceptable. If you really must have fireworks, do it at the beginning of the wedding. Don't do it at the end, late at night. Abide by the law. That's all we're asking for. Show respect, show kindness. And show decency.
Well, perhaps some of it is that inevitably people may not know. So perhaps we've got a good opportunity to get it out there. So if you didn't know, everybody, please remember, get them done and finished by 11 p.m.
There is plenty of info on the council website as well, so you can, if you just Google Luton Borough Council or Luton Council fireworks, there is a whole page on the Luton Borough Council website that will tell you exactly when and what times you're allowed to let off fireworks as well. So if you're not sure, have a look on there. Would be my top tip.
And on top of this also, while we were talking about fireworks, we also need to talk about, because I'm conscious we've only got very limited time, it's the hire cars. So hire car means exactly what it is. A hire car driving around and revving their engines at 11, 1 o'clock to 12 o'clock at night. Come on. Revving it during the day as well. What are you actually achieving?
I know what you're getting at now. You mean like those, what's the word? Those like those posh fancy sports cars.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, like the, what do you call it? The Lamborghinis.
The Lamborghinis. Everyone gets on the weddings.
So again, that is, while we're on the subject of fireworks and all that again is antisocial. Do you really think people will respect you? Oh yeah, you hired a Porsche, so and you spend X amount of money. No, it's the word is it's hired. It's not yours. If I own a £2,000 car, it's mine. If I own a £10,000, it's my car. A hire car is a hire car. And what message are you sending out there? What do you expect to achieve by driving now? A number of them I know have created accidents. They've had the vehicle seized, and if you get banned, what will that do with an employee these days without a driving license?
I never thought that. So you've come across that as in the council. Some of them have been seized because of not being driven properly.
Luton Bedfordshire Police do put up it a lot. They'll put up pictures particularly on Twitter or Instagram, of cars they seize where people have rented them. Is great. Honestly,
is that a thing?
And it gets worse than that.
I had no idea.
So it gets even worse than that. I rent it and I give it to somebody who's not insured to drive it. Guess what? Both of us are going to be losing because I've taken the responsibility of giving a car to somebody uninsured. Yeah. So you may think, my friend can. Do you want to drive it? Well, no, you're not. If you're not insured, you should not be driving any car. Per se. So
there you might hire this because you've got a nice happy occasion, relative getting married. You think, oh yeah, go on, pal, you have a drive, and then suddenly you haven't thought about it. They're not insured. Something happens, and then you're both in trouble.
And I promise you, it ends up, when it goes wrong, it ends up in tears. Tears for a number of people, for the family members. It could affect your career if you get a criminal record, or insurance. If you lose especially if your job, your livelihood requires you to drive and you lose your license. Once that's on there for driving without insurance, you will have that. So it's a number of things. It goes in the hand, but fireworks are within your hands. The cars are within your own hands. We as a community need to talk to our brothers, our sisters, our relatives, our friends, and say, look, this isn't acceptable behaviour. We live in a civilised society. We need to behave in a civilised society. In a civilised society, you can enjoy your wedding, go nicely, have a nice car, but don't drive it, brother. If you really need fireworks, have them in the right time so that you're not causing a nuisance to your wider community, because we are one big community in Luton. And I've not seen, and honestly, the amount of people who have raised this is because people are fed up with it and are saying, what are you as a council doing? What are you doing? And I'm thinking, hold on, do we always have to spend money policing our way out of this? Now, I had somebody said to me, and I wanted to, because it was one of the opposition councillors, that said, we should have drones out there, and should have police waiting for this. Hold on, if you've got 3 weddings on, where do you wait? And would you rather have those police with drones waiting there, and not chasing drug dealers, not chasing robbers, not preventing cross-county lines? Come on, let's be realistic. We need to take a and it's collective responsibility for us to talk to our peers, to our community.
So really what you're saying is we really want this opportunity to use our platform to encourage people to the nicest way of behaviour. Let's try and be kind to one another. That's what you're saying.
Kindness.
Yeah, let's be loving and kind to each other, but be a bit more considerate. So guys, if you're thinking about having this for your wedding, let's get started by 10 p.m. at the latest, so everything is finished by 11 p.m. and then we're not upsetting anyone.
Unless you're having your wedding on the 5th of November.
Yes.
they go mad.
But equally,
can you go later if it's the 5th?
Yeah, because it's bonfire night.
Oh,
but equally,
thing is though, I don't think many people want to get married in the winter time.
no, but equally, you back to the point, 10 o'clock, even 10 for me. Why can't you just have it at the beginning? If you really must have it at the beginning.
Yeah.
And not at the end. That's the thing. Have it at the beginning of the wedding, not the end.
Yeah.
I think that's the short message.
100%.
Have your wedding, and equally take the cars there. Don't block roads. Don't drive like maniacs, because end of the day, we everything comes at a cost to somebody. Everything comes to a cost. If it's more policing, somebody's got to pay for that. If there's more council officers, somebody's got to pay for that. And would we want to divert money, vital money, to help the most vulnerable people in our society, and be spending on just because a small cohort of people can't obey simple rules, and be respectful and be kind?
Is there anything that locals can do to support Sarah Owens on the firework bill?
That's an excellent question, and I think Sarah has been doing her utmost to try and get it, but with all the other legislation hasn't got through. I'm thinking that maybe we support Sarah with a petition.
So has it gone through one of the readings yet or not?
It's had all 3.
Has it?
Yeah.
But it hasn't become law, and I think we should, and I'll take an action back, and I'm hoping that Inspire will help us get that petition to tell the government, look, we really are fed up as residents, and I think it will benefit having those low silence. It's not just going to help benefit Luton, it'll help all of them, because wherever we live with the fireworks, even on, everybody deserves a good night's sleep.
100%.
Everybody, because if you're unwell.
Because it's interesting what you said, Councillor Javed. We've also got a thing here from a Peterborough MP, a man called Andrew Pakes, and he's also said that this is a problem in Peterborough as well.
I think it's a problem across the UK, but particularly in Luton. I think this past summer it's been busy.
It's a problem nationally, but for us, as a Luton councillor, as Luton MPs, both our MPs are 100%. The amount of complaints they're getting as a council, we're getting, the police are getting it. I spoke to John Tizard, our PCC, and about all the concerns, and like I said, I'm not defending the police, but would I want them to go after firework, or would I want them to go after the real criminals? Just because the firework people are not criminals, they're just antisocial people who maybe think they're good, well-meaning.
Well, there's
celebration.
We do have to be pragmatic. I mean, there's a difference between something being a nuisance and something being an absolute headache, and something, scary, antisocial. People being rude or violent, literally outside of your house or your flat. I mean, these are the real things police have to deal with on a nightly basis, I suppose, isn't it? So I do understand what you're saying. On the basis of nuisance, there's limited amount they can do. From a point of view of collecting information, is it better that people do ring 101 at the night time so it's logged and the police actually have an idea of how much of a problem it is?
1,000,000%. If you must log it, because it gives us indication. If you want to do, you can report it anonymously through Crime Stoppers. You can do it through our Love Clean Street apps, or you can go on the website 101 and report it. And equally, we need to, so there's a number of ways, but I would say we must report it. There's a number of areas, and we've got a special operation that we call Operation Starbar. That is around fireworks. So we put it, all the agencies talk together.
So any information that you get via the council or the police get via 101, that's actually sort of collated together, is it?
Yeah. So, and one of the actions I was going to say earlier, agreed with the police for some joint operation at night, focusing on the location and times being highlighted through complaints being logged. So we do look at that, and we proactively visit the wedding venues as well. But it's not the wedding venues. It looks like it's when they go home back to their households. They decide that we're back now, and one of them announced their grand entrance back home, which is the problem. It's not their grand entrance at the wedding hall, it's the grand exit back home. That seems to be, and that's the late night that's really, really causing us a nuisance. It's causing me a nuisance, it's causing you a nuisance.
It's the big home arrival after they leave the hall and get back
home.
Right.
Yes, and obviously they live in residential areas like you, and it's not fair on their neighbours. It's not fair on us. It's not fair on the community that we live in.
No.
It's your celebration, but doesn't mean your celebration should act as a nuisance. And I don't think they mean it. So I think part of me being here today is to sort of ask people, look, please spare some thought for others. We talk about compassion, we talk about empathy.
It is interesting what you said about being considerate. I mean, I haven't seen this woman for a long time, 'cause it was a long time since we worked together. But I've got an old friend who lives almost opposite the masjid on Lady Margaret Road. You know where the little shop is. You know where you can buy your halal meat. And
St Margaret's Avenue.
That's it, St Margaret's Avenue.
Yeah.
I was thinking of
Yeah.
Yeah.
Know the area well.
Yeah, sorry. I was thinking of Southall, Lady Margaret.
Yeah.
Anyway, so never mind. And she told me Ramadan time how annoying it can be with so many people around late at night making a lot of noise. And it is. I mean, since you raised it, I mean, our community having our weddings and stuff. These things that it is important that we think about our neighbours. Because our neighbours, we need to, as Muslims, we need to treat them like family, isn't it?
Absolutely, and I see us, everybody, as a wider family, and as Muslims, we talk the talk. We need to walk the walk as well.
Absolutely,
because after Ramadan, I'm glad you brought it up, even though we're here to because we're talking about being good neighbours, and we're talking about culture. Culturally, you've been to the mosque, you've been fasting all day, you've been to the mosque, you're going home, leave in a orderly fashion, quiet fashion, and that's how you're supposed to leave the mosque. You should not be out there. Now, if you've got children out there who are doing there, it's up to the elders to be responsible. So I should know my children, what they're up to. It's my responsibility. I can't just say it's a council, it's a police. No, I have a duty to my own household to say, this is what good manners are. This is where we've lost them. Some way about teaching people respect, manners. I think respect and kindness has come up a number of times, and that's the key in any religion. Whether you're Muslim, you're Christian, Buddhist, Hinduism, everybody talks about respect. Everybody talks about kindness, but how much respect and kindness are we giving when we do these antisocial? Whether it's after Ramadan, whether it's after Eid, after a wedding. It isn't kindness.
Well, it is an important point, because the key thing from Islam, leadership in Islam, is not just about us, the Muslims. It's about love for the whole community. This is why the Prophet ﷺ was so successful.
It's not only that as well. If you think about it, it also inherently causes negative stereotypes towards Islam. If people that aren't Muslim see us hanging around outside of masjids, being loud late at night, if people see us letting off fireworks after weddings, they then automatically have these negative opinions about this is what we do as a community, this is what we do, whatever race you're from, whatever religion you're from. If you keep doing those things perpetually, people will start to see a negative impact on that and see our religion in a negative light, which we shouldn't be doing.
No, absolutely. And one of the key things we always say, what's the first thing? It's perception. Perception. What perception are we giving to people on the outsider when we act in an unruly manner, I would say. And again, I'm not here to bash our community. I'm not here to bash anybody. I'm here to educate. This is what the discussion here today is about us getting the message out through the Inspire platform to say, look, please think about your near neighbours, irrespective of what religion they are. And at the moment, by the way, the biggest complaint is from the whole Muslim community. I've been to some of these places and events. Obviously, as a community person, I attend it, and it's so embarrassing, honestly, that I have to, and especially some places when I get this raised, I have to head my shame as a Muslim. I have to hold my head down and say, is this what you teach your community? And I say, no, this isn't. This is a very small percentage of our community, and I think it is this back to educating our community. It's about education and discussing and perception. For me, whenever I go anywhere, it's a perception when I go there, because I represent the community as a elected member. Depending on what my language is, how I come across, that will give a perception of Luton. Same as the Muslim community at weddings, how they behave, do you think, that they portray us in a good light when they are letting off fireworks at night, when they are driving inseriously? You just take Legal Road, the amount of speeding we've had. So we've just spent a huge amount of money on average cameras on there, because it's not just the cameras, it's the cost of calibration. And the money we've spent now, the fines go to the police. So that's an ironic thing, that the police collect the fines because they will prosecute it. The council doesn't prosecute. We put their average cameras in. So we now, I'm getting asked to put average cameras on Legal Road because we know that's had so many accidents. I'm being asked to put average cameras on Dunsmore Road. Now, again, we're being asked to spend money because there's a small court of us who just can't behave. The rules and the law of road are the same. You obey the speed limit. You obey the firework rules. So why do we find that we should be valued? One of the greatest things about Britain is the rule of law. You have rule of law, which means, again, here I could say, it was you, sir, that was letting off the fireworks, but I've got to prove it. So you can't do it. But so that's where the bit is. So the law is great there to protect you, but equally it can work against us now, because we can't just say, that stops somebody frivolously also saying to you that you was you when you weren't there. So it's got to be evidence backed. And that's the issue that we have in the police have, to be able to prosecute. And let's face it, the same family and friends are not going to give evidence against one of their own, are they? And I think all we can do is please show some kindness, show some respect.
Jazakallah. Thank you so much, Councillor Javed Hussain, for coming on this today. That's all for the News and Culture show this week. Join us again next week. We are now at a new time of 6 p.m. on Wednesday on Inspire FM. But thank you so much for joining us. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you.